Measuring 800 kilometers long and 200 kilometers wide, the small country of Nepal has around 30 million inhabitants, consisting of 103 ethnic groups, and is one of the 10 poorest countries in the world. Although the caste system was formally abolished in 1963, it remains a key driver of social isolation. The patriarchal system particularly affects women, who are considered lower class.
We start coming to mountain areas since long time, and every time when we come, we see the women, they are very strong. They are working very hard, and they are the main person at their home to do, take care of their whole family, whole animals and all cattle and, fields and everything. But they don't have decision power. So, but anyway, they are very happy and doing this all. And we thought this kind of challenge or their overwork can be transformed into the opportunity. Every time when we come in the mountain, we see women interested to change, for the change, for the evolution. They are fighting for that.
Based in Pokhara, the second largest town after Kathmandu, the Chhetri sisters, who are members of the highest caste after the Brahmins, created their company, Empowering Women of Nepal. They aim to promote women's participation in the development of ecotourism in isolated regions, where culture is well preserved, but living conditions are particularly difficult. It is also a way of contributing towards the country's main industry, trekking.
Good afternoon, right? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Fine. Thank you.
I'm also very well. Where we are now? Pokhara. Pokhara is in here. In the center ma पर्छ है पोखरा चाहिँ almost है. अब यो पोखराबाट हामीले कुन चाहिँ माउन्टेनहरु देख्छ? Indra. Where are you from?
I'm from Solukhumbu.
Solukhumbu. Okay. Can you show me where is Solukhumbu? Okay. Thank you. त्यति पर हुँदैन होला? हुन्छ. अलिक ओके.
यहाँ चाहिँ सोलुखुम्बु पर्छ. सोलुखुम्बु राख्नु आफ्नो कति भन्नु.
सोलुखुम्बु है. यहाँबाट चाहिँ कुन चाहिँ माउन्टेनहरु जान्छ?
यहाँबाट एभरेस्ट.
अनि अरु मकालु लोचे कञ्चनजङ्घा अझै इस्टमा होला है गाउँ होटेल है गुड अनि यहाँनिर नि सोलुखुम्बुको कुरा गर्दाखेरि सोलुखुम्बुमा कुन चाहिँ जातिहरू बेसी बस्छ शेर्पा अनि राई शेर्पा सोलुको है राई हैन सोलु हैन ल
हाम्रो चाहिँ पहिलाको जस्तो भेदभाव छैन है राईहरूमा अनि क्षेत्री जातिहरू पनि छन् है उता चाहिँ बढी क्षेत्रीहरूमा चाहिँ छाउपटी प्रथा छ
अझै छाउपटी त्यहाँ पनि हुन्छ
हजुर अनि के पनि खासै भेदभाव हुँदैन है नौरानहरू चाहिँ अब केटाको चाहिँ 9 दिनमा हुन्छ
तिमीहरूको मङ्गनी बिहे हुन्छ कि एरेन्ज म्यारेजहरू हुन्छ
अहिले त लभ म्यारेज पनि हुन्छ राई हजुर
अनि कति वर्षमा बिहा गर्थ्यो
5-6 वर्षदेखि नि पहिलाको त
हैन बच्चामै गएर बिहे गरेको अरे अनि श्रीमानसँग त खेल्नु थाल्थ्यो अरे हैन अनि फेरि पछि माइत आएर बस्थ्यो अरे अनि पछि गएर फेरि ठुलो भएपछि फेरि बस्ने हैन त भनेपछि त्यति बेलाको जमाना र अहिलेमा हामीमा धेरै परिवर्तन आइसकिसक्यो हैन के भन्छन् तिमीहरू अब जस्तो गाउँ फर्किँदाखेरि नि एक दुईपल्ट ट्रेनिङ गरेर तिमीहरू फर्क्यौ नि पुरानोहरू उनीहरूले के भन्छ कस्तो प्रतिक्रिया दिन्छन् तिमीहरूलाई देखेर
योभन्दा अगाडि अब मेरो फ्यामिलीबाट चाहिँ त्यस्तो तिमीले यो गर्नुपर्छ छोरी यस्तो ठाउँमा लाग्नु हुँदैन भने चाहिँ कहिले मलाई चाहिँ त्यस्तो चाहिँ भएन किनभने झन् मैले जब मैले अब मैले त अब अहिले घरमा हेर्छु त्यो अनुसारले पनि अब बाबुआमाहरूले मलाई अब छोरा बडा भन्ने सक्छ हाम्रो चाहिँ त्यस्तो छोरा छोरीमा चाहिँ छुट्याउने चलन छैन चेन्ज भयो भनौँ न अब म धेरै चेन्ज भयो किन मेरो घर परिवारले चाहिँ मलाई धेरैजनामा म एउटा चाहिँ ट्रेकिङ लाइनमा लागेँ
अनि यो चाहिँ अब तिमीहरूले यसमा आउँदाखेरि के सिक्छौ के तिमीहरूको आशा होइन आकाङ्क्षाहरू चाहिँ के छ त यो चाहिँ तिमीहरूले वाट यु आर डुइङ गेनिङ कन्फिडेन्ट होइन
We are currently running several projects. One is the female trekking guide training program where a lot of women, per year we have 80 trainees who are coming from all over Nepal to take the training, 1 month training course. And during this 1 month training course, since this is training focused for women, so that they can become guide in the future. So we talk about trekking, tourism, but other subjects like women's health, women's rights, leadership, team building, flora, fauna, culture, religion, English. These kind of courses are also offered at the same time. So during this time, I meet a lot of women from all over Nepal, especially aged from 17 years old to 25 years old.
स्ट्रेच गरेको छैन भने कोही बेला अनि अहिले किनभने अब बच्चासँग छुटेर हैन यति समय तपाईले यहाँ तालिममा दिदा तपाईलाई कस्तो दुःख पनि लाग्यो होला के कसो भइरहेछ त्यसमा
पछि राम्रो हुनेछ र मैले पनि अहिले यसरी हिरिराखे पनि अब कसैले हुन त महिलाहरूलाई राम्रो नजरले हेर्दैन तै पनि मेरो गाउँको मान्छेहरूले मलाई अहिले विश्वास गर्न थालेछन् किनकि मैले त्यस्तो धेरै नराम्रो कामहरू पनि अहिलेसम्म गरेको छैन त्यही भएर अब गाउँमा पनि यसो भन्नु पर्दाखेरि मलाई लिडरशिपको रूपमा नै हेर्नुहुन्छ पुरुषहरूले पनि मलाई त्यस्तो नराम्रो कहिले पनि हेर्नुहुन्न र जहाँ गए पनि अब अलिकति राम्रै तरिकाले बसेको छु त्यही भएर सायद मेरो श्रीमान पनि शिक्षित पनि हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँले पहिला त भन्ने गर्नुहुन्थ्यो म यस्तै मिटिङहरू जाँदाखेरि तिमी घरमै बसेको राम्रो होला भन्नुहुन्थ्यो तर पनि उहाँ एउटा शिक्षित हो मलाई पढाउनु भएको टिचर पनि हो के त्यही भएर पनि उहाँले चाहिँ मलाई पढाउनु भएको टिचरले चाहिँ त्यस्तो भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ कहाँसम्मको जायज होला भनेर मैले उहाँलाई नै क्वेसन गरेँ लिनुभयो अब समस्या भनेको अब एज अ ट्रेकिङ गाइड अब भन्न सक्छु सक्दिनँ त्यो त भन्न सक्दिनँ मलाई विश्वास छ सक्छु भन्ने तर पनि अब मैले आफ्नो पढाइलाई पनि निरन्तर दिँदै र अर्को कुरा अब अलिकति भयो भने सरकारी जागिरतिर पनि जम्प गर्ने कि भन्ने पनि मेरो अझै इच्छा भइरहेछ हेरौँ के हुन्छ
When the mothers are going trekking, then they are free to leave their children with us. Only girl child, but at least there is something for them. There were also some other, like our staff children, so we also contribute to their education, and we have a children home, and all the girls are supported to go to school. Yes, both the staff children and other children that we have taken.
The three sisters traveled around all of Nepal's regions. They met young women living in extreme poverty. By offering them free training to become assistant guides and guides, the Chhetri sisters are also helping these women learn about their country's cultural diversity.
ए नानी हो कुरा सँगसँगै गर्ने है ल सबैकै बस्यो भने फेरि राम्रो हुँदैन स्कुल जस्तै हुन्छ
and contribute to their society.
ल अरूको कसैको छ शेयर गर्नुपर्ने ल सी भन त के हो
भनेर फेरि अनि बस फेरि म यो ठाउँ जान्छु अनि ट्रेनिङ गर्नुको लागि भनेर भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यहाँको मान्छेले छोरी मान्छे बाहिर निस्किनु हुन राम्रो हुन छोरा मान्छे छोरी मान्छे किन बाहिर जाने राम्रो हुन्छ भनेर भन्दै अनि त्यति गर्दाखेरि मेरो घरको परिवारले नै भनेको थियो तिमी बाहिर ननिस्क भनेर आउन दिनु भएन तर मेरो जबरजस्तीले गर्दै
It was my grandfather's father and his wife, and I think during that time, many people were going to India because life was difficult in the mountains. So there was this huge migration. Many people from Nepal were going in search of new life. opportunities. So that's when they also decide to leave the village and settle in India. My parents were still in India, but my aunts were all here. So that is why I decided to come. With my grandmother, I have a very, very special relationship. When I was born, and after 6-7 months, then my mother had to go back to work, and I was raised by my grandmother. Our family is quite unique in a sense that I feel like women have more power, than men. Because of my aunt's role in the house, I think we have also got more say in different matters. Our parents, like my father generation, only my aunts got more education.
It will be good for women to work because they are the people who live always in the village also. And other way, the women, they are always dominated, and in the remote areas is more. So we have to help the woman, and if the woman is educated, she can educate whole family.
I didn't know how people were living in the mountains, and it was so fascinating for me to see how they were doing agriculture in the mountains, how children were going to school in the mountains, how women were living their life in the mountains. So after I finished my education, I can also contribute to the people of Nepal. So I feel very proud to work with them, and I also feel grateful that I can also transfer some of my experience and knowledge and share with them so that they can improve their lives in the future.
In 1994, we were in Pokhara doing small lodge. At that time, we started meeting different women coming from many different countries, and they were trekking in the Himalayas, and they were having trouble with the man guide sometime. Immediately, I thought the women who live in the mountain areas, they can do. Then when I went back and I said, okay, we can do this job, and we have to do. And at the end, we realized that training can bridge these issues, and we started Empowering Women of Nepal in 1999. And another thing is when I did another like a field trip in Nepal, in the Western Nepal, I see the women there work really hard, and most of the men, they used to go to the city and in India to find a job, and normally women, they stay behind there, and they are responsible for everything and get nothing.
मेरो नाम विष्णु धराला हो, तलिम गाविस वडा नम्बर 6 हो, धरालबाट बस्छु। अनि पहिला म सानो छँदा 1बाट 2 क्लाससम्म पढेँ, तर घरको स्थितिले गर्दा मैले पढ्न पनि थालेँ। अब अनि फेरि काम गर्दा गर्दा 8 वर्षसम्म मैले स्कुल ब्याक भएर स्कुल घरको काम मात्रै गरेँ। अनि छोरीलाई त्यति बेला छोरीलाई नपढे पनि हुन्छ भनेर अलि भन्नुहुन्थ्यो क्या गाउँघरतिर। अनि त्यसपछि हाम्रो बुवा मम्मीले नि बुवा त यति जान्ने बुझ्ने हुनुहुन्छ, तर पनि घरको स्थितिले गर्दा स्कुल पठाउनु भएन। मलाई 8 वर्षसम्म ग्याप गरेँ। पछि मैले पढ्न पर्छ भनेर फेरि म 81 7 क्लासमा पढेँ। इङ्ग्लिस र म्याथ एकदम गाह्रो लाग्थ्यो मलाई 10 अनि 10 क्लास पढ्दै थिएँ अनि यहाँ लक्ष्मी मेडमहरू यहाँ जुम्लामा आउनुभयो अनि टेकिङ गाइडको बारेमा अनि 15 दिन ट्रेनिङ दिनुभयो यस्तो हुन्छ भनेर केही पनि थाहा थिएन तर हामीले अवसर पाइसकेपछि पोखरा गइसकेपछि हामीले पनि यस्तो गर्न सक्नु महिलाहरूले पनि यस्तो गर्न सक्छ भनेर अलि मलाई पनि उ लागेछ म पनि यस्तो गर्छु तर पढ्ने त यति चाहना थियो तर सिक्ने पनि टेकिङ गाइड बन्ने पनि तर इच्छा छ हैन अनि पोखरामा गइसकेपछि अनि ट्रेडिङ टुरिज्मको बारेमा ट्रेडिङ गरिसकेपछि पोखरामा अनि अन्नपूर्ण राउन्डमा 2-3 चोटि गए माछे पुछिने एकचोटि गए अनि फेरि घोडापानी घान्द्रु 3 चोटि गए अनि फेरि मलाई पनि यो बारेमा यस्तो थाहा थिएन पहिला घर छोडेपछि कस्तो हुन्छ के हुन्छ महिलाको बारेमा यस्तो हुन्छ अहिले अब बुवा मम्मीले त फेरि जाने भन्छ अब म त जान्छु अनि तँलाई राम्रो भएपछि ल जा भन्नुहुन्छ
त्यो राम्रो हो तिम्रो विचार अब हैन गर्नुपर्छ अहिले गरेन भने हुँदैन आमा बुवा सधैँ हुँदैन साथमा पछि त आफूले गर्नै पर्छ हैन त्यसले गर्दा अहिले नै हामीले आफ्नो उस चाहिँ बनाइराख्नु पर्यो है
अनि कुनै तर पढ्ने यति इच्छा छ यति चाहना छ अहिले कुन विषय लगेर पढ्ने कुन के फ्याकल्टी लगेर पढ्ने भन्ने चाहना छ तर घरको परिस्थितिले गर्दा बुवा मम्मी अलि पैसा माग्ने पनि कसरी माग्ने आफूले कमाएर दिनुपर्छ भनेपछि
When we come here, this is really eye-opening for us also because in the city living there, we have no idea what's the life in the rural area, you know. So it gives us really good idea for us, the you know, possibilities of things and a lot of things. And when we see the girls who are working really hard in the mountain here, and we realize, okay, these women are physically fit and mentally very strong, what can we do to match their capacity, you know, their strength? So those women will be the ideal candidate for the, you know, adventurous thing. So if we can, these challenges, you know, turn into the opportunity, that will be great for them. So we are not giving them only the academic side, but we are giving them more chances on like adventure area also. पोखरा गयो भने ट्रेकिङ गाइड गर्यो भने त पढ्न पनि पाउँछौ तिमीले अनि यता कमाउँछौ पनि हैन त अनि त्यो गर्न सकिँदैन त
म सकिन्छ अनि त्यो गर्न सकिन्छ तर के गर्ने हामीलाई नजिकको भए अलि
अब त्यहाँनिर कमाएर कतिजनाले आफ्नो बहिनीहरू छोराछोरी ल्याएर पढाएछन् अझै राम्रो राम्रो स्कुलमा हैन स्वास्थ्यमा सबैमा गरेको छ भने तिमीहरूले पनि गर्दा हुन्छ हैन समस्या तिमीलाई छ भने पढ्न पनि मन छ कमाउनु पनि पर्ने छ भने सायद पोखरा आएर त्यो काम गर्दाखेरि तिमीलाई राम्रो हुन्छ होला
अनि बिहे गर्यो भनेपछि श्रीमानले पनि फेरि हेर्न पाउँदैन आफ्नो खुट्टामा आफै उभियो भनेपछि अनि फेरि आफ्नो खुट्टामा आफै उभिएन भनेपछि श्रीमानको कमाइ खानु पर्यो भनेपछि अनि उले पनि हेप्छ नि अनि हो त्यस्तो भन्ने विचार बिहे गरेन भने त अब कसले हेर्छ र
There are so many girls like Vishnu, same person girls, you know, they have like this kind of life because they have responsibility when they grew up, like even 3-4 years old, to take care of their siblings because they already have their parents' children, so they have to take care. One day she has to lead her own life. When we see the women's life in Nepal, this is really pathetic. Then they have lots of, you know, desire, they have lots of dream, but they cannot do because once they get married, you know, even the electrical engineer, she has to give up everything, and she has to, you know, stay at home and to, you know,
work, give service for whole family. It's not only for husband, like whole their in-laws and everybody. So it's the time now. The young people, they are also realizing this, and many young people, they are going abroad and learning this kind of education, like things, and coming back, and they are also doing this.
Numerous foreign organizations have been set up in Nepal to contribute to its development. Peter Freer, an Australian teacher, is confronted with traditions that are hard to break.
So I think there's a lot of potential. We have to arrange for the women to go in to places for their own protection.
Yes.
Particularly if they come from a refuge, they are already vulnerable. These are women who have been abused by their husbands, so have gone somewhere safe.
Yeah, okay.
For instance, empowering women, if the women are empowered without the men as well being part of it, it doesn't work.
Nowadays, the young generation, they are trying their best to do a little bit differently, but still the arranged marriage system is there.
One of my colleagues, engineering colleagues, came to me one day and said, "Look, Peter, he had told me he only wanted to marry a girl that he knew. He didn't want just an arranged marriage. But he was the oldest son, and his younger brother wanted to get married. But being the oldest son, he had to get married first. So he left. He left on the Sunday. He met 3 girls on the Tuesday.
Wow.
He interviewed them, decided which ones were suitable. On the Thursday, he was engaged, and by the Sunday, he was married.
Wow.
And so I talked to him a bit, because this is a very fast change of lifestyle. Like when I was teaching at Kathmandu University, I set a high standard. So the students were doing extremely well. And it upset the social structure, because now they were becoming more experienced and better qualified than the senior professors.
Okay.
So they shut us down. And so when we make these changes, like teaching women to be electricians, I don't know what will happen when those women earn more money than their husbands do.
Yeah.
There could be some difficulty.
And also people, they don't have much idea, I think, because they haven't seen much.
That's right.
We are unskilled people, will be here in Nepal, so we never, do better. But that's why I'm saying, like, we need somebody to innovate here, and to give them really good skill, so people, they can, feel proud on their work,
With the knowledge they acquired in the field and from foreign organizations, the Chhetri sisters carefully tailored their programs to benefit the most remote communities. Health conditions leave a lot to be desired in this country, which has an infant mortality rate of 47% compared to a birth rate of 32%. In this region of Karnali, there are no roads or means of communication. The villagers are sometimes completely unfamiliar with the rest of their country. For most of them, it is the first time they will see foreigners. It's also a chance for the assistant guides to put their training into practice and participate in workshops. When they return to their community, they will be able to help others eat better and take better care of themselves.
In 2009, we have organized one humanitarian trek for women, and there were many women, they were work as a porter with us.
When we were walking on the road, so on our trekking also, we found so many other people, those who had some social problem, or maybe some had some health problem also. On the way, we were talking to them, and it's my pleasure that many people, though I talked to many people, but at least 4 or 5 people, they were ready, and they stopped. They threw all their tobacco materials in glasses. So these are the role or responsibilities what I'm playing. Why I'm here being a woman, and especially this women trekking, I'm also participating. One thing is concerning to the general health of the women. So these are the work with 3 sisters they are doing. So since last let's say maybe 11 years, I'm involving with the 3 sisters activities concerning to HIV/AIDS or drug addiction or the empowering the women or maybe women's health in Nepal. We have 4 assistant guides. So these like Lakshmi, Durga, Pulmaya, and Pramila. So 4 of them are from this area. So these were my students when they were having their training.
Many people, they work really hard here, and all the time they are carrying heavy loads, and that is also damaging their development. But, there is no other option to do here. But nowadays, slowly, people, they are realizing how their life is and what should be. In different training and including our training program, we are also giving less load, to the girls, and we are training them in first aid if something happened, how to take care, not only during the trekking, but when they go back in their home.
In Nepal, it means when somebody gets pregnancy, means that the both legs are on, tom. Which is true because in a day, in 2 hours, one Nepali woman is dying because of the complication of the pregnancy. Another thing is when they get married, it's around, you have seen many times that it's only teenage, 12, 13, 14 years old, and they are married. And we are telling and giving this awareness program to the country, to all the women that women shouldn't get married before 20. And if they want to have babies, they should be above 20. Most of the women, they are very anemic. So there are a lot of maternal health. It's a high maternal morbidity, mortality.
In the mountain areas, there were no hospital, and also in the health post, there was hardly any medicines like that, So the people, if they have a small accident or something, like a small injury, they have to come a long way to the hospital. So people, they don't come, and they are so busy, and they are doing more, traditional healing and kind of thing. And some of them, they just dying very tight, and it's become really no blood circulation, and it was sink, and they are becoming disabled. And some of them, they are chopping their legs, and it was just they just fell down, and it was open fracture. They could not take care, and infection and septic. They are doing this really great job here. and orthopedics. That is great. I'm really very happy and optimistic for this place.
Over the past few years, the government has equipped itself with the necessary tools to improve road access, irrigation, potable water, education and health. In 2011, the hospital in Jumla, a town of around 106 inhabitants, opened its doors to provide healthcare to one of the country's most far-flung areas, which had previously been inaccessible. The three sisters train trekking guides, but it's also a way for them to help women develop their skills, build self-esteem, and become leaders in their community. A hospital in this region also gives locals the opportunity to study healthcare and learn how to look after themselves.
I'm now here to tell her exercises in a position where she can move, because if she move nothing, it can't go better. She get medicine, but she should also do her exercise.
तपाईले चाहिँ बिस्तारैसँग शरीर चलाउनु पर्छ अरे के दुख्यो भनेर यसो नचलाइ बस्यो भने अनि Okay, she is saying she moved all the time, and when she moved a lot, then her body will be very, so that. She carry the loads also.
Difficult if she says only pay.
Yeah.
Oh, she's jumping from the bed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They have, because they're working so hard, they have the generation. That's normally.
Nah, good boy. Brave.
This is what had happened is he fell down.
Okay.
And he had a dislocation of the elbow.
Oh, yes.
So his x-ray was like this. You see? It should be here, but it has come out.
Okay.
So he was straight like this.
Yes, okay.
For 1 month he was straight, his hand. So we did surgery, we went back, we released. It was a big surgery, 1.5 hours.
So these kind of things is quite common in the mountain, or what is
it is common in the mountain, but this is a very, if he had been treated properly immediately, this is a very simple thing. You just have to pull and it'll come back.
Okay.
But even if you can treat one of this patient like this, I mean, the purpose of us coming here is done. No?
Yeah.
The problem, I think, in this part of the world is because of the fact that it is hilly.
Yes.
No? And most of the people also have not good shoes.
Yes.
They don't carry a stick, and probably they have to carry weight. They have to carry the children, the food, or anything like that. So the balance is not right. No?
Yes.
So, and again, it is steep.
Yes.
So it's what you call stones and pebbles and all that. So it's easier to fall down. No? So that is one of the cause of these injuries that happen over here.
It's pretty to see. But it's so good to hear that many people, they're getting this advantage, having this eye. It's really great.
He's the director of this Karnali Health Institute. He's Dr. Javed Khan. Dicky Chhetri. So
it seems good. Like I have been here many times. I haven't seen like this hospital.
no, this is a good one. So I'm sure with the establishment of this thing, especially these sort of emergency accident traumas, that can be avoided, because you will have. Before, when I worked 27 years ago, it was rare to have one doctor even at one time. Now there are 6-7 doctors here, and they are recruiting more doctors. So definitely the people of this region will be benefited by this.
So nursing school we were planning to start very soon. We are trying to keep the fee structure very low so that more and more people will come get admission. And we have got a reservation of 45% for the people of the backward region. We have a plan to build a hospital of 300 beds.
Yes. Every day more and more people.
Yes, because they hear. कहाँ अस्पतालमा पाएको कि घरमा पाएको? यो घरमै. So he birthed at home. This was probably during birth some birth problems. So these are also very important.
So my hand and birth,
yeah, mentally and physically also. You cannot speak. The main thing is the damage has already been done. Damage in the brain has already been done. So if probably if he was in a better center, if he was given birth in a hospital, then what happens is the brain requires oxygen. So during that time, during the delivery time, if there is lack of oxygen in the brain, you are alive, but your brain gets damaged. Our health system is getting better because government is encouraging people to have the baby's birth at a hospital. So whenever they come to the hospital, they get money. So they get like for prenatal checkup also and antenatal checkup also. So they get money and they get money to get delivery at home, at the hospital. So by that, I think you can prevent these sort of difficulties.
Yeah, before when we were trekking in the remote areas, we were giving that, the kit,
Kit, for the umbilical cord to cut the umbilical cord. Yeah, just because of that also you can get infection and.
When she came to our program, first time we trekked, Phulmaya had class 4 education and she was a totally girls from the mountain.
Little brother, younger brother. Yeah. Is it Jumla? Go to India. Oh, good.
When she came in Pokhara and she realized she was the only one who has a less education, like a class 4 education. Then she realized education is very important and she stayed 10 months in Pokhara and she did trekking also. She has a good relationship with her husband and she is still very, enthusiastic to learn more. And she said us like when the children is grown up and she will come back to Pokhara again and she to continue her job. And the Karna other side, he also joined in our Jumla. And that time also he was sharing his experiences, different things. And now I have seen he is changed a lot. They are very, very progressive and I'm sure that their future will be really good.
के अरे यहाँ केही कुरा नबुझेको अनि यताउति पढाइको बारेमा जस्तै विवाह सानो उमेरमा गरेपछि के हुँदो रहेछ भन्ने केही थाहा नै नभएको अनि त्यहाँ गएपछि केही परिवर्तन हुन्छ
काम गरे अनि पछि आयो हैन अनि भन्दाखेरि नि अब त्यो आइसकेपछि तिम्रो अब जम्मा 3टा बच्चा भयो नि हैन 3टामा अब अहिले 2टा छ बिचको छैन तिनैवटा छोरा भएको है तिमीलाई छोरी हुनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्दैन
लाग्दैन त्यो के अरे छोरा भयो पनि छोरी भयो पनि एउटै त हो त के अरे कि दुईटैमा चाहिँ एउटा छोरा एउटा छोरी भयो त ठिकै थियो अनि कि छोरी मात्रै भयो पनि 2टा हुन्थ्यो अब छोरा पनि भइहाल्यो छोरा पनि 2टा मात्रै हुन्छ
अब चाहिँ तिम्रो अर्को सन्तान हुन्न हुन्छ अर्को छोरा छ भन्दैन
अनि यिनीहरू बितेपछि त हुन्छ यिनीहरू राम्रो भयो भनेपछि हुन्न यिनीहरूको अनि फेरि केही भयो भने चाहिँ एउटा अर्को भइहाल्छ
तिमीलाई प्रमिला थाहा छ है
हजुर
कहाँको पो कालीकोटको है तिमीलाई सँगै गरेको हैन
हजुर
कहाँ गरे ट्रेकिङ गरेथे
प्रमिला दिदी बित्नु भएको अरे थैले
बित्नु भयो अरे
हजुर
थाहा रहेछ त
हजुर पहिला नै बित्नु भएको
हो है
हजुर
के हुँदा कसरी बित्यो थाहा छ
के अरे गर्भवती हुँदा अनि सुत्केरी हुने बेला हस्पिटल टाढा भयो हस्पिटल लिँदा लिँदै बित्नु भयो के अरे प्रमिला दिदीको बुढासँग फोन गरेको अस्ति नै फेरि अर्को विवाह गरेछु देवीसँग भन्नुहुन्थ्यो के अरे अनि ऊ जति दुःख पऱ्यो पनि हाँसेको गर्ने अरूलाई पनि हँसाउने
राम्रो थियो है
हजुर
हाँसी खुसी गर्ने खालके
हजुर
अनि त्यो पछितिर उसकादाखेरि याद मतलब त्यो सुत्केरी हुने बेलामा प्रमिलाको यस्तो भएको भन्ने याद लाग्थ्यो
हजुर
अनि तिमीले के चाहिँ तयारी गर्थ्यौ त्यसको लागि
त्यसको लागि पैसाहरू अनि अगाडि नै हस्पिटल बस्नुपर्छ सुत्केरी नभन्दा
अनि त तिमीले त बच्चा घरमै भयो नि त है
हजुर
त्यही तिमीलाई बिहालाई त्यस्तो लागेन
अनि के अरे परिमला दी जस्तो टाढा पनि थिएन त हाम्रो हस्पिटल अनि पोखरा गए राम्रो लाग्यो कि लागेन नानी पोखरा जाने कि नजाने
Fulmaya and their whole family, they are also very happy now to see her granddaughter-in-law. At the beginning, it was very difficult for her. Nobody was supporting her. But now, when she is in that stage, everybody is very happy with her. And we are, trying our best to raising awareness to the mother that don't discriminate between your daughter and your daughter-in-law, because they are same. What do you think about your daughters if she get married and she has a life like your daughter-in-law? So if you want a better life to your daughters, so you should treat your daughter-in-law also better. Like very few people, maybe they are very traditional and old, or maybe they didn't get any education. These people are very typical kind of, very cultural kind of thing. But we have seen many men, they are changing now. It is very important to empower men also, or pass the message to the men also to, empower women. Like we cannot say like a woman, you do this and that, but unless and until the man should be convinced, So we have to convince men first, then men realize, because they also like to have the woman who can help them in equally in every level.
मेरो आमा बुवा चाहिँ बित्नु भयो 1 वर्ष अगाडि बुवा चाहिँ टिचर हुनुहुन्थ्यो
हुन्छ अनि कतिजना छोराछोरी दुईजना
हजुर 2 वर्ष भन्दा अलि बढी भयो
मागेर बिहा हो कि अब दुईजना लपरेर हो लपरेरै हो ओहो अनि अब ऊ चाहिँ उताबाट हैन तालिमहरु लिएर आएको पोखरातिरबाट गएर आएको हैन अनि त्यस्तो चाहिँ कस्तो यहाँनिर चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले कसरी सोच्छन् त नि के हुन्छ कस्तो हुन्छ अब गाउँमा कस्तो महिलाहरूलाई हेर्ने दृष्टिकोणहरू अब तपाईहरुको आफ्नो विचार र
म चाहिँ उसको त्यो विवाह पोजिटिभ छु किनभने उ केही सिकेको छ अनि केही प्रयोग पनि गर्छ अनि मलाई सजिलो पनि हुन्छ भनेर
है ओके अनि त्यो उले पछि भविष्यमा नि इन केस अब बाबु ठुलो भयो हैन र फेरि यो ट्रेकिङ गाइडहरु गर्छु यस्तो गर्छु भन्ने नि तपाईलाई कस्तो लाग्छ त
मलाई लाग्छ उसको इच्छा हो उ चाहिँ जे पनि गर्न सक्छ मेरो त्यसमा केही हक छैन उसले चाहिँ फ्रीडम रूपमा म भन्छु बाबु छ अनि अलि ठुलो भयो भने तिमी जान सक्छौ हैन आफ्नो इच्छा अनुसार गर्न सक्छौ भन्छु म जागिर खानी खाऊ घरमा बस्छु भने बस जे गर्छ आफ्नो इच्छा त्यस्तो कुनै कर छैन त्यस्तो फ्री
अनि तपाईले चाहिँ अब महिलालाई यसरी तपाईको श्रीमतीलाई यसरी सोचेर उ गर्नु भयो हैन ल विष्णुको लागि एकदम राम्रो है तर अरु महिलाहरुको उसमा चाहिँ अरु तपाईहरुको समाजमा चाहिँ महिलाहरुको स्थिति कस्तो छ त महिला र पुरुषमा कस्तो खालको छ
खासै मलाई त मेरो जस्तै सोच सबैको होला जस्तो लाग्छ तर चाहिँ हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ महिलाहरूलाई चाहिँ दबाएको जस्तो लाग्छ किनभने बिहा गरिसकेपछि बाहिर जानुहुन्न यस्तो गर्नुहुन्न तर चाहिँ म त्यसको चाहिँ अनि अझै पनि तपाईँ यहाँ उर्थ जत्रा मात्रै पुग्नु भएको छ यो भन्दा पनि 100 कोसभित्र एकदम पिछडिएका बस्तीहरू छन् अनि त्यहाँको महिलाहरूको जीवन के हो पुरुषहरूको जीवन के हो त्यहाँ थाहा हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई त्यहाँ गइदियो भने राम्रो हुन्थ्यो जुन हुरी मरी पेरे जस्तो ठाउँहरू छ भित्र एकदम बिकट छ ताकि तिनीहरूले चाहिँ महिलाहरू कहिले पनि यो बजार देखेको छैन कुनै महिलाहरू त जन्मे अनि मरे सिद्धि हो हैन श्रीमानले नै हो
सबै हो
महिलाहरू स्वावलम्बी र एउटा आत्मनिर्भर हुनको लागि सबभन्दा नेपालमा तुलना गर्दा र यो पिछडिएको जुम्लाको साथसाथै पिछडिएको 14-20को तुलना गर्दाखेरि सर्वप्रथम त हामीलाई शिक्षाको आवश्यकता पर्नेछ किनभने शिक्षा नै उज्यालो संसार हो शिक्षा बिना अन्ध हुन्छ मान्छे त्यसकारण सर्वप्रथम महिलालाई शिक्षाको अनिवार्य आवश्यकता छ त्यो सँगसँगै एउटा कुनै पनि कुरा गर्नको लागि डबल साइज चाहिन्छ त्यसकारण त्यसमा पनि महिलाहरूलाई गर्नको लागि पनि पुरुषको 1 नम्बर दिन्छ किनभने पुरुषले सोचिदिएन भने चाहिँ महिलाले गर्ने अवसर पनि पाउन
त्यो त टिङ गर्ने विचार नभएको भए त अनि किन यस्तो गर्नु पऱ्यो त्यो सङ्घर्ष टिङ नगरे त कसरी खाने नि अहिले त अब बाबुलाई हुर्काउनु पऱ्यो सबभन्दा बाबु नानी नै हो त नि हामीहरूको लागि त बाबु नानी ठुलो भयो भनेपछि फेरि अब यहाँभन्दा पछाडि ट्रेनिङ पनि गर्ने विचार छ
राम्रो नै काम गरेर आफ्नो मात्रै लाइफ नभएर भावी बच्चाहरूको लाइफको लागि पनि केही ध्यान केन्द्रित गरेर केही बनाउन सक्ने हृदयदेखि आशा त छ अब त्यो आशा भोलि कुनमा परिवर्तन हुने त्यो अब हेर्दैछ
तैँले विवाह गरिसकिस् अहिले विवाह गरिसकेपछि त अर्को घरको बन्धन होस् त्यो बन्धन भइसकेपछि हामीले गर्न सक्दैनौँ भनेर मैले नैनास्ती गरेँ गरेपछि उ त म भन्दा पनि अब उसको अब मेरो बिना उसको कान्छाबासँग गर अनि डेली भनेको भने गर्दो रहेछ त्यो गर्नको कारण अनि कार्यमै अनि भदौको कति हो अनि हामीमा अनि ऊ त गइ अब मैले चेक सही गरिदिएँ ऊ त गइ
श्रीमानले केही गर्न नदिएपछि त श्रीमती घरदेखि बाहिर जान पाउन घरको बन्धनमा हुन्छ अनि के थाहा हुनु श्रीमानले अब श्रीमतीलाई यस्तो जुनसुकै सानो होस् ठुलो होस् जुनसुकै काम पनि गर्न दिएपछि सानोबाट सिक्दै ठुलो हुँदै जान्छ त्यसै कारणले श्रीमानलाई पनि म हृदयदेखि नै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु
दिनु पर्यो एक पाथी गेरा थाल दिएर एक पाथी गेरा ल्याएर पनि खानु पर्यो त्यस्तो पनि मानिसले गरे अहिले त त्यस्तो छैन आफ्नै ज्यानले पनि गएर चिडीमा चाहिँ पुगेर बेसा ल्याउँ अहिले त त्यो खुब गएपछि बजार जान्छौ तर बेसा त अहिले पनि बेसै छ हेर अहिले पनि बेसै छ तर अहिले सुविस्ताको बेसा छ बजार जान्छौ ल्याउँछौ पैसा मात्रै चाहियो भात खाया छौ बसिया छौ आनन्द छ अहिले कहाँ पोलो किया दुखारी जन्मेछौँ तिम्रो पालामा त सुखारी तिम्रो भाग्यले सबै कुरा मुखती पुगेको छ पढ्नु त्यही बेला हामी पढाउने भने ओहो नपढ छोराउ तिमी पढेर खेतीपाती को गर्ला खेपघाट को गर्ला नछिया
I think visitors, if they come, it's not only to see the poorness or poverty, but if they come to contribute their ideas or their skill or their knowledge to the local people, that will be great, you know. And this is what they need. It's not something like we cannot give money, we cannot feed them a meal or some things, but if we can give them skill or knowledge, that will help them. When I come here every time in the mountain areas, I feel so happy and I feel so light, and I'm very touched and close to the mountain women. I like to share with them, you know, and also I like to listen to them and, you know, at least to give them hope. You know, it's really great. So I belong to this mountain place. Yeah.
Yet ye, women of the mountains, you walk with grace, pride, and dignity. Though you have nothing, you tend to give everything to your loved ones or to the strangers passing by. Your face reflects stories of pride, happiness, and hardship. Women of the mountains, you are pure, beautiful, strong, intelligent, and authentic in and out.